My name is Gemma Purnell from TES Consulting, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to leverage artificial intelligence to get better results in your pay-per-click campaigns. Keeping up with AI-driven developments in the search industry is the new normal for search marketers. But what does it actually mean, and what do we need to be aware of? Thing you really need to make sure that you do before you start using artificial intelligence in your PPC campaigns is to identify your goals and KPIs. And you've probably heard it many times. Don't do anything until you've identified your business objectives and your digital campaign goals. The reason it's so important when you're using AI is because auto bidding strategies are intimately entwined with the campaign goal and its KPI. So you need to sit down and create a real, strong digital roadmap, ensuring that you take a good, hard look at the results you want to see. You need to verify that your tracking and analytics infrastructure allows for optimization to the desired KPI, because you can't ask more of what you don't have. And this definitely applies to conversions, but also revenue through return on ad spend. For example, we've witnessed many situations in our agency where users had set the campaigns to maximize conversions right at the beginning of their campaign when they weren't driving any conversions. And customers have come to us and said, oh, we've set up our campaign and we set it to maximize conversions, but it's not working, we're not getting impressions, we're not getting clicks, and we're definitely not getting conversions. But how can the AI drive more conversions if it doesn't have an idea of what a conversion is? And the same if your tracking's not working correctly. If you're tracking for conversions and suddenly something goes wrong with your tracking or it's not set up correctly, you need to change that, because you can't optimize for conversions effectively when the tracking's not working and you're not telling Google that you're getting conversions, because it won't know how to optimize those campaigns. It's just like a car stuck in the mud, spinning its tires. It will just dig a deeper and deeper hole, trying to reach what just isn't possible. Costs will also spiral out of control. And I've seen this situation firsthand just recently as a campaign that had a problem with the tracking and didn't change straight away to maximize clicks instead of maximize conversions. So the algorithm just kept trying to get conversions, but the tracking wasn't working to tell AdWords that the conversions were actually happening. So the cost per click just got higher and higher until they actually changed the settings over to cost maximize clicks. So it's really, really, really important that you've got your campaign goals figured out. The tracking's all working well, and then you're in a position to start looking at what you want artificial intelligence to do for you. The second item that I think is really important is setting a confident performance benchmark. And that means not using AI with a brand new campaign. Having a strong, confident baseline for performance allows you to evaluate whether the automated performance is fully fulfilling the expectations or not. So what I do recommend is that you use manual bidding as much as possible, probably even for the first 2 to 3 months, and really manage that campaign well. Optimize it very, very aggressively and set your own best case scenario with the exact same campaign that you plan to automate. Once you're getting the results you want, then you can try and improve that with automation. Third really important factor here is waiting out the learning period. So you need to be patient once you've learned an automated bidding strategy. The learning period could take between a week and 2 weeks, and you may find that your results really go downhill during this time. It's normal. You're resetting the account quality score. When you're manually controlling everything, you were able to change your bids on a daily basis, or even more often than that if you wanted to. But now what you're doing is you're allowing your clicks, your conversions, your conversion value to feed the learning algorithm. You need to set a high budget, probably even higher than normal, so that the learning period can be over faster. And even if performance doesn't meet the expectations that you have, don't pull the plug too fast. It's chaotic while the AI is trying to find its feet. Just wait 2 weeks. Previously, I would have said 7 days, but with all the options we have available to us now in Google Ads and in other PPC platforms, wait at least 2 weeks and try to discern whether the performance is stabilized and at what levels. And don't forget, you can keep tweaking after those 2 weeks. You can continue making small changes, but wait at least 2 weeks before you make any major changes or decide to go back to manual optimization. So what actually is artificial intelligence? And why should marketers care about it? Artificial intelligence can recognize customer preferences, how likely somebody is to buy your product online or fill in a contact form. It can provide a better view of what might happen next. How likely is this person to make a purchase? How much is their click worth to my company? And it can also help you to deliver personalized messages to customers at the right points in the consumer life cycle. So depending on whether they've made that search query before, how recently they made that search query before, have they visited your website before, have they clicked on one of your ads before? And AI platforms are able to make intelligent decisions on how to allocate funds across channels. This could just be in Google Ads, or it could be in an independent platform managing all of your PPC marketing. So a superior PPC system has humans and AI working together. PPC managers do need to be wary about handing over total control of their campaigns. You really need to get educated on the capabilities and the limitations of artificial intelligence. This AI will invariably automate more and more tasks in the future. You should develop your skill set in a way that will complement this technology. Not be scared of it or feel like it's going to take your job away, but complement it. And by doing this, your business will get the most out of humans and AI together. And that effectively guarantees that your PPC system will be destined for great things in the age of artificial intelligence. An example of how you do this is by checking the Google Ads recommendations and the ad suggestions, but not just automatically implementing them. Making sure that they match with your campaign goals and KPIs before you take any action. So there are various different ways that you can use AI to work with your ad copy. One of those ways is increasing your returns with smart bidding. So there are various different ways that you can use AI to help with your PPC campaigns. And one of those is actually using artificial intelligence to write ad copy. Creating copy that sells with artificial intelligence is really the copywriting of the future. And using AI to optimize headlines, descriptions, and call to actions, using the language that your audience uses, can increase your conversion rates by up to 200%. Studies have shown that personalized call to actions perform better than generic ones, and it's always a good idea to test different call to actions, even if you've got a call to action that worked really, really well on a previous campaign. It's always a good idea to test new ones. Some of the main benefits of using artificial intelligence when it comes to creating compelling PPC ad copy are the unmatched data processing power that AI actually has. It analyzes thousands and thousands of ads to find the best possible ad copy for your campaigns. And the ability to better predict click-through rates and quality scores. Another way that you can really leverage AI in PPC is to increase the returns that you get on the campaigns with smart bidding. Again, I do strongly recommend that you run your campaigns manually for the first 2 to 3 months and really, really do your best to optimize them. Once you feel you've got to the maximum that you can actually achieve, then there are various automation options that you can use to increase the efficiencies, including auto bidding, maximize conversions, target cost per acquisition, where you allow the algorithm to identify bids that will get you the most traffic. Target cost per acquisition also allows you to set an amount that you're willing to pay per conversion and just let AI take care of the rest. Automated extensions are another way that you can actually manage your campaign with artificial intelligence. Instead of determining which extensions you want to use, allowing the algorithm to choose its own extensions. And dynamic search ads, where you simply feed a URL to the algorithm and allow it to create ads based on the content on your website. All of these do save you time managing your campaigns. But again, really, really important that whatever you do, you make sure it aligns with your marketing goals and your KPIs. Now, if you do display network advertising, you may have already heard before of in-market audiences. And one thing we can do with artificial intelligence is aligning our ads with in-market audiences. What an in-market audience actually is somebody who's physically searching for a product at a particular moment in time. So we can now create and curate lists of users who've shown purchase interest in particular topics. And this feature is called in-market audience. So if you sell cameras on your website and somebody is searching for buy a new camera, that is an in-market user. And we can put those users into specific lists that predictive intelligence can then show our ads to. Now, as great as it sounds, there is a few things that you really need to keep a check of to make sure that your audiences are as fully optimized as possible. And that's identifying the different lists that you can match with what you're selling. Adding the list to your campaigns and layering bid modifiers on them. Okay, even if you're using automation, you can do this part manually. And I always add at least 15% bid modifier. for all of the audiences, the in-market audiences. You monitor them closely, analyze, and adjust whenever you need to. When everything's working well, you further expand those lists. And the information I'm giving you here today gives you a fairly broad overview of how artificial intelligence can help you to leverage your PPC campaigns for better results. Not only the artificial intelligence that's available to us in the Google Ads platform or the Facebook Ads platform, but there are also a number of different specific platforms which have been built particularly for optimizing PPC campaigns with AI. If you'd like a list of the best platforms, in my opinion, that you can use, then please send me a message after the presentation.
Thank you so much, Gemma. That was so interesting. Thanks a million.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. So we've got a few questions here. And by the way, everybody who's watching, feel free to ask any questions in the chat box for Gemma and we'll be able to answer them. But I'll start with the first one, Gemma. Are there any particular artificial intelligence platforms that you can recommend to us?
Okay, well, there is a lot of different AI platforms on the market at the moment. So it really depends on what your goals are and finding the right one for your business. But what I'd strongly recommend is obviously test a few out and make sure that you make full use of the free trials, even if ask the company for an extended trial before you actually commit, just to make sure that it is actually really, really good for you. The ones that I use myself and that I recommend are AdCore and AdZoomer. They're for PPC optimization. They work really, really well for me, so definitely welcome to give them a try. And then have a look at what else is on the market as well. There's definitely some good deals out there that you can find. There's new startups all the time. AI is such a popular niche now that there are more and more new platforms launching all the time.
Wonderful, thank you. And do you think artificial intelligence will take over from human marketers in the future?
Well, the short answer is no. I don't think it will completely take over. I think it will become more and more prevalent, but there's always going to be some human interaction. We're always going to need to be face-to-face with clients for a start, and things like the algorithm can make mistakes. Like even now, I use a lot of the Google keyword recommendations, but you tend to find you get keywords recommended that they're relevant in the industry that you're working in, but they're not really relevant for your business or your campaigns. So it does need some actual human involvement.
That's good to know. We won't be totally replaced.
Replaced by a machine.
Exactly. When would you recommend not using artificial intelligence in a marketing campaign?
Okay, I'd definitely say for the first 3 months, you want to be manually optimizing everything because you need to make sure you've really got data-driven, comparable data, really strong results that you can compare to. For when you switch over to AI, you want to see better results than what you're getting manually, but you need to get those manual results first in order to have something to compare to. So definitely not within the first 3 months. Make sure you're manually optimizing and getting your results and fine-tuning them as much as possible. And the other reason I would recommend not to use AI is basically if you haven't defined your KPIs yet, if you're not 100% sure what you actually want your campaign to do, are you driving more leads? Are you driving actual online sales? What is the actual cost per acquisition that you're really aiming for? You need to have a very strong idea of what you want that campaign to do for you, the return on ad spend that you want to see, the profit, the return on your investment. And then, just like any type of automation, AI will take what you're already doing and multiply it. So if you're getting great results and you switch to AI, then you're most likely going to multiply those great results. But if you're getting bad results or your campaign's losing money, it's exactly the same thing. You're just going to end up losing more money if you try and automate and, use AI in a campaign that's not working well. So it's always manual first and then switch to automation.
So knowing what you want and then deciding how to go about it. Yeah, it's so important in every aspect of life, isn't it? To be sure about what you're going to be doing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Gemma. This was such an interesting session. I wish you a lovely day. And guys, we will be back here at stage 2 for the future of blockchain, cryptography, and NFTs at 11 BST, as I said. See you then. Thanks a million for watching. Bye.
Bye.
From day one, Crack Revenue's tagline has been, "Follow the whale." 10 years later, it's truer than ever. Unlike most CPA networks, we test all of our top offers using our designers, media buyers, and analysts to make sure the funnel is working and that the offer is more than profitable. Then we share the recipe with our affiliates. Simply put, Crack Revenue is made for affiliates by affiliates. It's the whole idea behind Follow the Whale. That way, everybody wins.